Hello, I'm Charlie Baker and welcome to episode 3 of Why Are Farmers So Smelly? A huge welcome this week to our new calves, Barry and Sheila. Hello to you. They can't speak. They're not real. And even if they could, cows can't speak. So, or can they? Well, that's the sort of question we will ask this week's farmer, Adam Henson.
Yes, we're joined by Adam Henson, who, as of course you'll know from Countryfile, the best programme on television.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. But of course you are a proper farmer. It's not just for telly, is it? It's not just like you lied on your CV and you actually live in a tower block in Birmingham. It's not that.
No, so I was born and brought up on the family farm. My dad took on the farm tenancy here in 1962. I was born in the house that I now live in with my family. I grew up with 3 older sisters on the farm, and we used to get out and help Dad as much as we could. And I just wanted to be a farmer all my life, ever since I was a little boy. Very fortunately, went off to agricultural college, took on the farm tenancy for my dad, and now run it with a business partner of mine. And so we're combining about 3,500 acres of crops, and we've got a couple of thousand animals of loads of different breeds. We've got 50 different breeds of 7 different species.
Is this the rare species as well that you deal with?
That's right. So we've got lots of old-fashioned rare breeds of farm animals. So Gloucestershire old spot pigs, Gloucester cattle, Cotswold sheep. You name it. We've got 11 different breeds of sheep, 7 different breeds of cattle, 7 different breeds of pigs, lots of poultry and donkeys and ducks, all sorts.
And what makes them rare? Is it why do they I suppose they die out, or are they just not very popular? People don't like them. We don't like the look of that pig. It's a bit ugly. We don't like it. We're not going to breed them anymore.
So really, post World War II, we were a starving nation in the UK, and the government asked farmers to turn on the tap for food production. And we moved away from some of our old-fashioned, less productive breeds, and sheep breeds that were small and their wool was coloured. We want our sheep to have white wool so we can dye it any colour we want. Pig breeds that are like the Gloucestershire old spot didn't have big enough litters of piglets, ran to fat too quickly. Right. And so they all went out of fashion, went into decline. Some of them became extinct and were lost forever, but people like my dad started collecting them and preserving them, and formed a thing called the Rare Breed Survival Trust that looks after British rare farm animals. And since its formation, no more have become extinct.
We absolutely love receiving your questions on Eat Farm Now. This was from Betty, aged 4.
I've got a question actually from Betty, and that's my daughter, Betty. She's 4. She said, can anyone be a farmer?
Absolutely, Betty. Anybody can be a farmer. So you need to study hard at school because it's quite technical. There's lots of computers and lots of mathematics. There's all sorts of complicated things in farming. So you need to study hard at school, and then maybe go to university or agricultural college, and then try and get lots of work experience on farms, and then go into farming. So yes, and there's loads and loads of jobs. If you think of the food supply chain, so you don't just have to be a farmer who's milking cows or driving tractors. There's management jobs, there's agricultural bankers, there's agricultural solicitors, there's all sorts of people in the agricultural world providing food, nutritionists, engineers. So yeah, it's a fantastic, rewarding job, and anybody can do it.
And this one was from Fred, who's 5.
Do all your animals give things like chickens with eggs and wool from sheep, etc.?
Yeah, so all farm animals have been domesticated thousands of years ago because they have a use to the farmer. And so they all do give something. So it is milk or meat or wool or eggs. And even the sheepdog, or eat or milk sheepdogs, we domesticated them years ago from the wolf because they're a very useful tool for rounding up the sheep or rounding up the cattle. And so
come back.
Yeah,
I can do that.
They're running around the yard. They don't know what to do. You've got them upset. They're looking for sheep and there aren't any.
So cows obviously produce 2 things, meat and milk. Goats produce. We don't eat goat as much in this country. A lot of countries eat goat, don't we?
But lots of people do enjoy goat. It is delicious. So milk and meat as well. And of course, what you can do is then process the milk to make lots of different things. So cheese, butter, ice cream, chocolate, and wool from sheep, but also meat from sheep. Eggs. So within the chicken world, a bit like the cattle world, we moved away from dual-purpose animals in cattle and specialised in milk cows, dairy cows, and beef cows. And in chickens, we have broilers, which are the ones that produce the meat, And then
Okay.
you have the egg-laying birds that just specialise in producing eggs. They're just not as meaty. They're leaner and not a meaty chicken. They put all their energy into producing eggs rather than meat. Yeah.
Adam, our farmer, is of course a huge star, one of the presenters of Countryfile on a Sunday night on BBC One. I thought I'd audition for him with my idea about cows.
Will we ever see electric cows, Adam?
Well, we might see it in the future. They're talking about now producing mince in a great big vat and just letting it self-replicate itself.
Oh, lovely. Oh, how
I prefer to
nice.
see cows wandering around the field rather than having it produced in a vat.
I think so. An electric cow would be an excellent for milkmen. They, of course, run around in electric vehicles, so an electric cow would do both jobs for them.
Well, it could just deliver the milk to your doorstep.
Exactly.
It would be warm though, coming straight out of the cow. You'd have to have your own cooling and pasteurisation system.
Electric cows, another good idea from me. Well done, me. Billy, aged 12, asked a question that I thought was silly, perhaps a little bit rude, but it turned out to be brilliant.
How often do cows fart?
Yes, well, they fart a lot. One of the controversies over farming cows is that they produce methane that can be damaging to the environment. But in the UK, we're doing lots of research about breeds and diet, how we look after our cows to try and reduce the amount of methane they produce. So they do fart quite a lot, but mainly they burp. They burp much more than they fart. And so what a cow has is 4 stomachs. And one of the big stomachs, called the rumen, it can convert grass and hay and those sorts of things into milk and meat. And in their rumen, they've got all these little bugs that are called microbial activity. And all those bugs are breaking down the grass and they produce the gas. And mainly they burp.
We'll have more from Adam Henson next week. Send your questions to Eat Farm Now. That's it though from me, Charlie, Barry and Sheila, and we'll see you on Why Are Farmers So Smelly next week.